right, so happy Monday. It's noon here in frozen Alberta, and we're just going to wait a couple minutes, let some people get in on the live here. So if you're just joining in, I encourage you just to shout out and say hi. We're just waiting for people to trickle in, get in on the live here. So if you're just joining in, I encourage you just to shout out and say hi. We're just waiting for people to trickle in. All right, so we'll get things rolling. So for those who are new, we'll do a quick brief recap, if you will. So I'm Marilee. I am the owner and creator of Designs M Studio, and I make and create a wide variety of different objects, ranging from paintings that I convert into other sources, so journals, bookmarks, stickers, etc. Just so you know, in case you're wondering why I'm going back and forth, I'm on 2 different platforms at the moment, doing live at the same time, so you will see me jumping back and forth. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, so I do everything from hand-painted images that, like I said, I transfer onto other objects, and then I make things with resin, so I make candle holders and other home decor, ranging from signs to clocks to coasters to collectibles, things that light up, and honestly trying new things all the time. Just recently, within the last few months, I've gotten into the 3D printed world and have dramatically expanded the product range and product line that I now make, along with my artist ability. I started releasing and are making and selling them toward the tail end of November, going into December, and did very well. So a little bit of a back history as to why I started making them. My son is on the spectrum. He is autistic and very into fidget toys. So I started making and creating different types of toys, and he took quite the liking to them. So I started experimenting with different styles, seeing what would work, what wouldn't, testing out durability, and I took a pretty big hint if my son would make off with them, and he makes off with quite a few of the pieces that I make. And he is constantly watching to see what I make next. So as of 2 weeks ago, I'd started to release them online. So these critters that I'm making are 3D printed. They are made with a plastic or a filament. They are pretty durable. Of course, depending on the size, will determine the type of durability, and being that in mind, what's best suited for the age of your kid, because some are a bit more delicate than others, but overall they hold up pretty good. As again, my son is pretty hard on toys, and he has dropped his dragon from about not quite the top of his door frame, but pretty close, and he's thrown a cat around a few times. So keep in mind, printed cat, not a live cat. I don't currently have any animals. And it's held up reasonably well, so far so good. So we're going to quickly run through, every Monday I do new releases, and you will find them on my reels and my stories, and usually a pinned post that will go up toward the top of my social media page. And then any of them you take an interest in, you just have to either comment the post or message me privately, and we can certainly go from there. Prices range depending on the object, ranging from $5 to $30 at the moment. If you're local, we can certainly figure out a drop-off, pick-up type situation. If you're a little further out, then we figure out shipping. Shipping ranges anywhere between $25 and $27, depending as to where you are. If you're further outside, so that's based on a Canada perspective, or if you're in the America or further out, it's going to range based on that. So jumping right into it, again, these are 3D printed. So these are the newest releases that I've done. So I had a custom request for some unicorns, and so based on that concept, this is the unicorn style that I currently have, and it kind of flops over like that. Now keep in mind, any pieces that I show that have white bits, the white glows in the dark. So even if it's painted, depending on how well it's painted, the glow will still shine through. Some of them will be better than others. Like this one, for example, still glows pretty well, but not necessarily as great as this one, as the color is just a little bit thicker on this one than it is on this one, but they still glow. So either way, this is a larger unicorn in a nice floppy, fun kind of a style. The paws move on both sides and it stands up pretty well on its own. And then I've got two different size variations, so I've got a big one and a small one, and they're really rather cute. Now this blue one is claimed already as the person who requested the unicorns. This is the one that she's picked out of the ones I currently have. So this one is no longer available, but I currently have the one little one and the big one just for right now. So, and these little ones are $20 each, and the bigger one is $30. Now these ones specifically are hand painted, so they are worth a little bit more on top of the printed filament. Moving right along, so I started making, for those who don't know, I released geckos. Hi! Happy Monday! I released geckos 2 weeks ago in two different color options in a rainbow style, so either blue topped or sort of a pinky topped, and I have a couple of these left. And after doing some smaller ones, I ended up doing one random keychain styled, so this is part of the newer bunch this week. I only have one of him, but he is a blue topped keychain styled gecko, and he's 10, as are these other critters, so these ones are 10. And then I decided to try a much bigger one. So size comparison, this is the bigger gecko compared to the smaller one. And these are why the bigger ones are a little bit more. So these ones are 30 and these little ones are 10. So I would recommend for smaller children, if you're buying these for your kiddos, I would tend to go for the slightly bigger pieces just because the joints are thicker and have way more durability, as my son threw his yesterday because he was spinning about and, you know, doing one of these and he let go. And the piece that would make me, or the part that would make me the most nervous at amongst that test point would be the tail, and it didn't go flying off. So, testament to that. So I've got, like I said, a giant lizard or gecko. This one is in a lighter, a little bit of a dark orange, a little bit of a red. There's a little bit of tints of the lighter one on top, but mostly it's red and orange. And really fun. These have a lot of flexibility to them. Coils up quite nicely. The little ones quite literally just wrap around. Like there's a lot of play to these guys. They just completely coil up. I tend to put one in my pocket a lot, as I fidget with these probably just as much as my son does, if not more. So, and again, I've got the keychain style with a very easy attachable option for that. So that's what I have left for geckos. And then I also started releasing octopus. So I've got 4 colored ones left over from my first release. I've got one dark green, and then I've got a few different orange tints left over from my first batch, as the other ones sold pretty quickly. So I've got a bit of a gold color, and they move really well. They're really fun. So I've got a bit of a gold color. Hard to see in this light, but they are different tints, so I don't know if that helps or not. But a bit of a gold color. This one is a bit of a darker orange, medium orange. And this one is a slightly different tint. This one's sort of a two-tone, so it goes from essentially this color, so the medium orange, into a darker orange, as it was a serrated line and it just kind of rolled over like that. So that's what I have from my original colored batch. I have some new octopus. I did some much larger ones and some small, I call them minis. They basically fit on the tip of your finger or the end of a pencil. They are tiny. And for size comparison, so this is the original size and this is the minis. Again, if they're white, they glow in the dark, and they glow really, really well. The minis are 5, the regular ones are 10, and then just because I could, I decided to up the size. So I have 2 of these in 2 different colors, and I went much bigger. So there's your size comparison, and this one is 30. Now the blue one is double tinted, so he's blue on the top, and he glows in the dark on the bottom. So he turned out quite well, I might add, and I only have 1 of the blue at the moment. And then I do have a second one in that size. This one's also two-toned, a little bit of red on the top. There's some, well, I should say multi-toned, really. There's a little bit of blue on the bottom, and there's a little bit of pinks, a little bit of light oranges in there. Like, he's got quite the wide variety of colors going through him. And again, that's the larger one. I do have more glow in the dark, so I've got 2 of the minis, and they both glow. And then I've got 2 of the regular sized ones, and they also glow. So in regular size, I've got 6 altogether, 2 that glow, 4 that are colored, and then the 2 minis that are glowing in the dark. I also have 1 other mini, and he's blue. So I guess I should retract that. I have 3 minis altogether, 2 glow in the dark, 1 blue. And they're pretty fun. I actually have a custom order request that I have to fulfill by the end of this week. They want a mini octopus that is purple, and they want it with a keychain ring on it. So I'm in the process of modifying the model with a keychain loop so I can add that. I found some other unique designs, one with a top hat and things like that, so I will be releasing some more new ones very soon. So those are in terms of my new ones, and then what I have left over from previous weeks is I've got a couple of sharks left, and these are all done in a nice rainbow spectrum, and they move pretty well, and again, they're pretty fun. I have a couple of starfish left, and then of course I have my dragons. So this little guy is currently still available. He is 30. And then I have, and again, he also glows in the dark. And then I've got your standard, or what I would consider my most popular standard articulated dragon. This is my regular size. He glows in the dark. And again, this guy is about 20. So that is what I have currently. I have 3 of these guys. I only have 1 of him. And again, this one's hand painted on top of the glow in the dark. So he glows pretty well, even with the paint, and he just came out really, really cute. At least in my opinion, he did. So I've got a bunch of dragons, some geckos. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to fire away. Again, if you're interested, all you have to do is either comment on a post or message me, and I can certainly help you with that. I do pretty much e-transfer. I mean, if you're doing it through card or something, I can certainly set that up, but e-transfer is preferred. Shipping is, again, always an option. And if you're after something specific, as I have a second request from last week's live, they're after a very specific character, so I'm in the process of looking and creating for that. That one I'm going to have to build kind of from scratch, as I'm not liking any of the models that I'm finding, so I will be changing and making one on my own, which can be done. But if you're after a specific color or a specific style or a specific critter or even a specific size, my son wants me to try making a much larger octopus. So probably at some point this week I'm going to be seeing just how big I can go with the printer that I have with the style of this octopus. So he's going to be massive. Very curious to see how that turns out, but he's going to be massive. Because I think, well, I'd say probably about double the size of this guy. As this one, he's about 50% bigger than what this one came out as, and my plate can definitely go a little bit bigger than that. So, should be very interesting to see how big this gets. So, but yeah, they've all turned out really, really well. I really like these unicorns. They've come out really fun. They've got a lot of durability to them. And honestly, I think it doesn't matter if you're a little kid or a bigger kid, we all kind of have fun with them. Hi, Dory. Showing off your unicorn. Or I guess technically this is yours. So did anyone have any questions or any requests or more information? I'm happy to answer anything. Yeah, he turned out really cute, Dory. And if you prop him up just right, he will actually stand up on a table. So it's kind of fun. Okie dokie, so so again, just as a recap, got a bunch of unicorns for people that are joining in now as I'm watching people trickle in still. So I've got these little guys. Again, the blue one is no longer available, but if you're interested in the blue one, I can certainly make more of them and make it look, I won't promise it'll be identical to this, but I can get it probably pretty close. I've got the unicorns, purple sparkles rather, lots of rainbow to them. And then I've got my numerous octopus ranging from minis to extremely large, ranging from colorful to glow in the dark. I've got my geckos ranging from fairly large to what I would call regular size. I won't go smaller with this one just because I think it would compromise the integrity of the tail especially, so I will not go smaller, but I am totally open to going bigger. I've got one keychain gecko, and again, everything here, all the little ones are $10 aside from the minis. The minis are all $5. The larger pieces, including the octopus, the larger unicorn, and the dragon, those are all $30. And the bigger you go, the more they're going to be, which is just kind of usually how that goes. And of course, I've got my lonely sharks and the starfish. So I have lots of options to choose from, lots of things to pick from. I've got a lot of colors that I can mess with and manipulate. This was sort of an accidental turnout, but I am very interested in replicating how that turned out. So it's two-toned. Again, it glows in the dark on the bottom and needs blue on top, which turned out really rather fun. And yeah, so I think that's about it. So again, if you've got any questions, feel free to message me. I will do this again for sure next Monday, showing off whatever new releases I end up creating in the meantime. If you've got any requests or suggestions, feel free to fire them away. And I appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I will be back again very soon with another live. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Catch y'all later.